feeding the poor, visiting the sick, discharging the army, acting as a statesman, acting as an arbiter, talking to the people, addressing the women, giving out the zakah, sewing his clothes, washing his house, shopping for the food, doing all the things that you and I do, and at night standing in prayer for 4 or 5 hours at a time, and in the day fighting the battles, discharging the armies, giving the ahkam and the rulings, explaining the Quran, instructing the people in behavior. How could a man do all of that and stand 4 or 5 hours at night at one time? What kind of human being could that be? He never wore silk. He never wore gold. He never dressed arrogantly. He never dressed ostentatiously. He never walked proud, arrogant. He never appeared in front of people like he was a king or an emperor, even when he was the absolute ruler. One could enter a hall like this, and the Prophet ﷺ could be sitting among his companions. And it was common for people to look around and want to think he should be sitting up someplace in a chair on a throne like other leaders. He should be wearing some gown of gold. He should be wearing some kind of crown. He should be a man with people around him serving him. But when they came in and they looked around, it was a common question: who is Muhammad? Where is he? No one could tell who was the Prophet ﷺ among his followers, because his clothes and what he ate and where he chose to sit was never different from the other people. You tell me, name one leader in the world that could compare with that. And he was always generous. And when someone asked him for something, he gave everything to them, never caring about himself. And the Prophet ﷺ, he used to sleep on a mat, like that mat on the floor. Only thing it was made from palm fiber, from dried grass. And that's how he slept, on a dirt floor, with no furniture in his house. And one day, Umar ibn al-Khattab entered the house of the Prophet ﷺ and saw that he was sleeping on a dirt floor. And Umar, he said, Ya Rasulullah, the kings, the emperors in the earth, in Persia, in Byzantium, in Habash, all over the world, these kings, they are not like you. Oh Rasulullah, you can have better than this. And the Prophet dismissed him and said, they have what they have been given, and I have what I have been given. Raditu billahi rabba. I am pleased with what Allah has given to me. And even while he knew that some of his countrymen were conspiring to murder him, at that very time the Prophet ﷺ was holding a trust in his home, a trust they had given to him, a trust of money, a trust of valuables that they had given to him, because in Mecca, where he was born, he was known as Al-Amin, the most trustworthy. But when they entered his home to kill him, they did not find him there. Instead, they found his cousin Ali, and he left Ali in his house when he escaped for only one reason, so that Ali radiallahu anh could give back to them the valuables, the money that they had entrusted with him years ago. Never in his life did he ever lift his hand to hit any human being. Ever. Not a servant, not a wife, not a child, not a friend. When he had the chance for revenge, when he had a chance for reprisal, the Prophet ﷺ never took revenge, he never took reprisals. He was as shy as a virgin on her wedding night, hiding behind a curtain. He was that kind of man. He was that pious. He was that shy. He was that gentle in his speech. And when the companions of the Prophet ﷺ used to look for him on the battlefield, they said, Wallahi, we found him in the middle of the enemies, fighting. And they said, we used to seek the protection of his person. We used to hide behind the Prophet ﷺ on the battlefield. He was such a warrior and statesman on the battlefield, commanding and fighting for the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But once he was off the battlefield, his eyes were downcast, and he was speaking softly, and he was gentle, and he was warm, and he was sacred and soft and caring. And there's no human being's life that has been documented in detail, personal and private, public, an open book for the world, like the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
باسط المعروف جامعة صاحب الإحسان والكرم